This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Angel Fernandez on the phone. Angel, how are you doing?
How are you, my man? Just like trying to recover from this flu. I just have been absolutely out of social media, but feeling better each day.
It's good to hear. Obviously, like we've just been speaking briefly off the phone, and you've been a little unwell. Obviously, with what is going on in the world at the moment, how worried and concerned have you been?
Quite worried, but not so much for me. It's also kind of like, for the people that you could potentially pass this on to. But I mean, I haven't been going out pretty much since last week, really. But it's a worrying thing, massively worried, and I'm more for like a lot of my friends, in Spain, is my family as well, because the cases are kind of like rising up each day. But I hope, this thing is just passes soon and everybody can get back to their normal lives and jobs,
What do you make of the entire situation that we find ourselves in at the minute and the way that everything's kind of unfolded around the world?
It's crazy. I mean, I think everything is going to suffer, like the economy, lots of things, all these people like they self-employed, all those employers that they just went home with no jobs, and some people has to still paying for bills and things like that. It's a worrying time, very worrying time.
I know there wouldn't have been anything that you'd have experienced like this before, but with regards to seeing all the sporting events being postponed, etc., is there anything you can kind of compare it to?
To be honest, I mean, not really. I mean, it's hard. It truly is hard, I mean, I don't see kind of like, I know some people are maybe talking like June, July, but I mean, in terms of how the situation is at the moment, I hardly see it. This, an event being going up live, either June or July. So, but I hope it does, but I don't see this coming.
Let's obviously talk about that. You obviously train a few fighters and you work with obviously Anthony Joshua. He's scheduled to face Pulev in June. What kind of discussions or anything have the team had about that date? Is that a safe date? Is that 100% going ahead? How's the kind of a land lie with that?
I mean, I don't think that the June time is going to happen. I think they're still talking, like the manager with all the team, the doctors and everything, and see what's the next potential date for him. But then again, even before him, there was going to be so many shows, like Josh Kelly, Povetkin as well. And again, they really haven't come up with a second date. So, I mean, it's worrying times for boxing. It's worrying times for all the other sports and the people that were supposed to go to the Olympics as well.
We will come on to obviously all of these topics that you've just brought up, but just to stick to AJ for a minute, when, in your own opinion, then, do you think we could see him enter the ring with Pulev?
What, in June or July?
Yeah. If not later, if you maybe think it might even be later.
Yeah, I mean, the fight has been confirmed. So it's just really just like trying to find the day, the best possible day. But it's quite hard because the situation we are in, really. So that's again, just something to Freddie, which is his manager, to speak to Eddie Hearn, and I'm stick to the coaching, to be honest. Those sort of negotiations is done to kind of like the team, and then we will be prepared for for whatever day they tell us to do.
What's AJ's outlook on the entire situation? Obviously, he was looking at the possible undisputed fight with Tyson Fury, which would have hopefully have taken place either at the end of this year or next year if Tyson had obviously defeated Deontay in their rematch. How's that kind of changed the teams and AJ's outlook on further plans beyond if the Pulev fight was successful?
Yeah, I mean. Josh wants to create greatness, I mean, to be honest, with all the situation, it's quite hard to tell which is the next opponent, on who he's going to be and who he's going to fight and where he's going to fight. All this at the moment is just kind of like in the clouds, because the next step is Pulev. a lot of people kind of like just puts down paper as an easy fight, but I don't think it's as easy as kind of like people is going to think it is. And then just go through this fight, and then just like let his manager, let Eddie Hearn, let himself, speak and see who the next opponent will be. If it's Tyson Fury, it's Tyson Fury. That's the fight that everyone wants to see. But I'm sure maybe other challenges or might raise up. But it's quite hard with the situation we are in, because Fury still needs to fight Wilder. So it's scary times. Scary times. We just don't know, really.
I know we kind of we can't really talk about possible fights and that because we don't know where the land lies with a lot of other things because of what's going on at the minute. But just to touch on Fury, obviously I haven't had a chance to speak to you since his victory over Deontay Wilder. What did you make of his 7th round stoppage win?
Very good. Very good. Full work, he was more grounded on his punches, and he needed what he needed to do, push Wilder back, which he did. And again, it was an amazing performance. So for me, I got to congratulate the man and the team for the good performance.
Deontay has obviously come out and he's said he wants that rematch immediately. He's invoked that rematch clause. Do you think that was a smart move? Do you agree with Deontay doing so?
I mean, fair play to him to take the third fight. I think it's probably going to be pretty much exactly the same. Fury would definitely, I'm sure he's going to become victorious again. But if he comes up with kind of like the excuses that he said, to be honest, I think it's a bit kind of like down on him, because he should take the loss as a man and just come back again and just say, listen, I won the fight again. I was not in the best of my capabilities, but don't come with excuses with that the team was too heavy or anything like that, because that is just kind of like a bit crazy, really. But listen, man, fair play to him, to take this fight again. But the thing is, if he loses this fight, what is he going to be? Where is he going to go after that?
Tyson's obviously looked at as a brilliant boxer. Everybody knows how good a technician he is around the ring. And then for him to go and stop Deontay, it's kind of made people sit up and take note of maybe his power a bit more, maybe giving him a bit more respect for that. Now, put in the scenario of AJ, possible undisputed fight with Fury, how do you kind of prepare AJ for Tyson, knowing that he's got a bit more power about him now, or at least he's showing that, as well as knowing he's a good technician with his boxing ability?
Yeah, just don't forget that Tyson had to lose a lot of weight in the first fight with Wilder. Yeah. Then the second fight was more prepared. His weight was more on point. He's been around that way and in the training camp as well. So kind of like he was in a better position second fight. And again, if Joshua has to fight him, we'll sit down, the whole team, and we will have to come up with the best plan possible. But end of the day, the ones that are going to jump in the ring is going to be them too, and the best man, shall win.
Keep your cards close to your chest there, Angel.
Yes.
Obviously, you brought it up the Olympics as well, and what will be going on with that at the minute. And it's something that we was talking about just away from this interview before we started it. How kind of the land will lie with the likes of the Fraser Clarks, the Galal Yafais, who will be getting on into their late 20s and that now, and with the Olympics being pushed back to at least 2021. What are your thoughts on what's going on with that?
It's very hard for them, because it's something that they have to, think what is really important to them. If it's actually become Olympic champion and then, turn pro, some of their careers, they might have to be in the professional ranks rushed up a bit. But then again, I think that question is probably like more to them. But it's sad, because I'm sure probably a lot of the Olympics, not just in the UK, if not in other countries, probably was thinking go through the Olympics in 220 and then turning pro after that. So it's kind of like probably it's going to mess up a bit with their plans, but I wish them, all of them the best of luck, and whatever they decide, if they go to the Olympics or if they not, just wish them, all of them best of luck, really.
Before I do let you go, Angel, I did just want to get your thoughts as well on some of those fights that we mentioned earlier, which obviously, again, they've all kind of been either postponed or there's talks about possible postponements and all that. But just to start off with, we had Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin announced. What was your thoughts on that fight?
I think it's a fight for the fans, to be honest. I know Povetkin is just like old, but he proved himself against Hunter, in Saudi, and I think he's gonna make an interesting fight. It's gonna be probably like a fight where both of them could get potentially hurt, within the fight, but I see Dillian Whyte maybe come through and come victorious on that fight, really.
Another big heavyweight fight that was announced. Alexander Usyk versus Derek Chisora. Again, what are your thoughts on that one, Angel?
Good fight though, very good fight. But I think Derek pretty much passed his best, and I think quite a lot of people are probably going to see the reality of Usyk in the heavyweight division. I think Usyk is going to have, more freshness in him, better footwork, better technique. But then again, Chisora is strong. He can take a punch, but I see Usyk winning that fight after kind of like mid rounds, I would say.
The final one, which I wanted to get your thoughts on, it wasn't formally announced, but by all accounts it was signed off and we were just waiting for that official announcement. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Again, what are your thoughts if we do see that one down the line?
That's an interesting one, though. To be honest, I hate to comment about other fighters. I truly do. But to be honest, in the form that Canelo is, and then again, with like the latest kind of like opponents, with Billy Joe, I'm going to go with Canelo, to be honest.
Well, Angel, I appreciate your time. I know you're going to want to rest up again and have less of my Brummie accent down your ear hole now. Before I let you go, what would you like to say to everybody?
Just like, stay safe, stay home.
Angel, an important message there. As always, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. I appreciate you giving up some time. Thanks, Beats Boxing Social.
Thank you, my friend.